Prince couldn't see the stage lights at the end of the tunnel. Only darkness. Collapsed on the cold concrete backstage at Madison Square Garden, his chest crushed, his lungs refusing air, his hands shaking, those same hands that had flawlessly played 27 instruments during soundcheck 3 hours ago. Now he couldn't even hold a water bottle. 20,000 people were out there, sold out in 47 minutes. But Prince knew the truth. They wanted Michael Jackson. Thriller had been #1 for 8 months straight. 37 million copies, a world record. Prince's Purple Rain had been out 2 weeks. 500,000 sales, impressive, but against Jackson's shadow, a candle flickering in a hurricane. Tour manager Bobby Lewis dropped to his knees beside him. "Prince, 10 minutes. You need to get on stage." Prince lifted his head, eyes wet with something that looked like surrender. "I can't. They don't want me. I'm not enough." And that's when a shadow appeared at the end of the corridor, a figure moving with slow, deliberate steps. The man who'd forced the world to count to 10. 6 years earlier, in 1978, a 19-year-old Prince sat in a Warner Brothers executive's office in Burbank, playing his demo tape. 45 seconds in, the executive stopped the cassette. "Kid, you're talented, but you're too small, too feminine, too weird. The industry has room for one black superstar at a time, and Michael Jackson owns that spot. You'll never be him." Those words planted a seed that grew into a poisonous vine wrapping around Prince's heart. You're not enough. You'll never be enough. When 1999 dropped in 1982, it was successful. Radio play, MTV rotation, sold-out clubs. But that same year, Michael Jackson released Thriller. Every radio station, every television screen, every magazine cover, Jackson. Prince was relegated to also-ran status. At the Grammys, Prince didn't even get a nomination. Jackson took home 8 golden gramophones. The message was clear. There was room for only one king. During Purple Rain sessions in 1983, Prince worked like a man possessed. 18-hour days, sleeping on the studio floor. "This album will make me a legend," he told his engineer. But when test pressings came back, doubt crept in. Warner Brothers executives were diplomatic. "It's beautiful, Prince, but it won't touch Jackson's numbers." The album dropped in late March 1984. First-week sales were strong, but against Thriller's records, they looked modest. Critics wrote, "Talented, but lacking Jackson's charisma." Every night, Prince had the same nightmare, playing to an empty stadium while crowds left to see Michael Jackson. Now backstage at Madison Square Garden, those nightmares were real. Bobby Lewis was in full panic mode, checking his watch every 15 seconds. "Maybe we have the opening act play another 20 minutes? Prince's band members stood at the dressing room door. Wendy and Lisa exchanged worried glances. A security guard rushed up. "Mr. Lewis, Muhammad Ali is in the VIP section." Bobby's face went pale. "Jesus Christ, Ali's here, and our star is having a breakdown." Another guard approached. "Mr. Ali wants to come backstage." Bobby waved him off frantically. "Not now. Prince isn't in any condition." But Prince heard the name. His head snapped up. "Ali is here?" His first reaction wasn't hope. It was more shame, more pressure. The greatest fighter in history is going to see me like this, broken. Prince had grown up watching Ali on television, especially one fight, Thrilla in Manila, 1975. Ali versus Joe Frazier, the 14th round. The camera had caught Ali in his corner, completely destroyed, telling his trainer, Angelo Dundee, "Cut the gloves off. I can't go on." Dundee grabbed Ali's face. "You're the champion. Champions don't quit. One more round." Somehow, impossibly, Ali stood up and won. That image had burned into young Prince's mind. Even legends break, but they get back up. That promise had carried him through 1,000 impossible nights. Until tonight, when the promise felt like a lie. Heavy footsteps echoed down the corridor, deliberate, unhurried. Everyone in the backstage area went silent. Muhammad Ali appeared, 42 years old, still carrying that electric presence that made rooms rearrange themselves around him. People instinctively stepped aside. Security guards froze mid-step. Ali walked straight toward Prince, His eyes locked on the collapsed musician with an expression that held something surprising. Recognition. Not pity. Recognition. Ali crouched down to Prince's level. 5 seconds of silence. Just looking, seeing everything. Then that legendary voice, slightly slurred from early Parkinson's, but still commanding. "I know you." Prince tried to speak. "Mr. Ali, I'm just—" Ali cut him off with a raised hand. "No, I know you, because I lived in your eyes for months. I see it right now. The fear, the pressure, the voice in your head saying you're not enough, that you'll never measure up." Prince's eyes widened. Nobody had ever articulated it so precisely. Ali continued, his voice dropping to something intimate, almost confessional. "After Manila, I couldn't go near a ring for 6 months. Frazier killed me in there. 15 rounds of dying on my feet. Everyone called me champion, but I felt like a fraud, because winning wasn't enough. I had to be perfect. I had to be untouchable. And when I wasn't, when I showed the world I could bleed, I thought I'd failed everyone who believed in me." He paused, letting that sink in. Sound familiar? The words hit Prince like physical blows. Someone understood. Someone who'd conquered the world still knew this exact darkness. "Michael Jackson," Prince whispered, his voice cracking. "I can't beat him. I'll never beat him. He's a god. I'm just someone who works hard." Tears streamed down his face now. No pretense left. 20,000 people are out there, and they're all going to leave disappointed, because I'm not Michael. I'll never be Michael. Muhammad Ali grabbed Prince by the shoulders and lifted him, physically pulled him to his feet. The strength in those hands was shocking. "Listen to me now." The command in his voice made everyone in the corridor freeze. "In Manila, Joe Frazier knocked me down. The referee started counting. 1, 2, 3. I was lying there thinking, why am I getting up? I've been champion since I beat Sonny Liston. I've proven enough." Ali's eyes blazed with the memory. 4, 5, 6. Angela was screaming at me to get up, but I didn't want to. 7, 8. Then I remembered something. Silence. Prince held his breath. "I was Ali before the world knew Ali. I was Cassius Clay. That kid wasn't trying to beat anyone. He was just fighting because fighting was who he was, not what he had to prove. Who he was." Ali's face was inches from Prince's now. "I got up at 9, beat Frazier, but the real victory happened the moment I decided to stand. Not for the crowd, not for the record, for me." His voice went quiet, dangerous. "So let me ask you something, Prince. What count are you at right now?" Prince couldn't answer. His throat closed. Ali asked again, harder. "What count are you at?" 8, Prince finally whispered. "I think I'm at 8. Ali's face transformed. Not quite a smile, but something fiercer. 8 is good. You get up at 9. You don't let it go to 10. He pressed his forehead against Prince's, a gesture so intimate and powerful that everyone watching felt like they were witnessing something sacred. "You weren't born to be Michael Jackson. You were born to be Prince. Now go show them what that means." Prince started walking down the corridor. His hands still trembled, but his steps were steady. Stage technicians started applauding as he passed. Wendy and Lisa stood at the entrance to the stage wings. "You got this." But it was the presence behind him, Ali following at a distance, invisible but felt, that kept Prince moving forward. The stage was dark. 20,000 voices chanting, "Prince, Prince, Prince." The sound was physical, pressing against him like ocean waves. Prince stood in the wings, eyes closed, breathing. Ali appeared beside him one last time. "Remember, this is your ring. You're the champion here." Prince's voice was small. "What if I lose?" Ali's laugh was genuine, warm. "Champions don't lose. They just learn. Now float." The explosion of lights and sound as "Let's Go Crazy" erupted felt like being born into electricity. Prince launched onto the stage. The moment his fingers hit the first chord, everything changed. The voice in his head, the one screaming, "Not enough," for 6 years, went silent. Michael Jackson's shadow evaporated. There was only Prince, the stage, and the music. His purple jacket caught the lights and scattered them like thrown diamonds. 20,000 bodies moved as one. This wasn't a concert anymore. This was communion. A front-row witness later described it. I'd seen Prince 3 times before, but that night something was different. His eyes carried certainty, like he'd stopped trying to be anyone else and just decided to be completely himself. You could feel it. 20,000 people sensing we were about to witness something unrepeatable. During the second verse of Let's Go Crazy, Muhammad Ali slowly rose from his VIP seat. He walked to the front of the stage. Security moved to stop him. Ali just looked at them. They stepped aside. Prince saw him during the guitar solo. Their eyes locked for 3 seconds. Ali raised his arms, the victory pose from the 1964 Sonny Liston knockout. Prince raised his guitar in response, mirroring the gesture. 20,000 people turned and saw Ali, then looked back at Prince. 2 champions, same ring. The roar that followed registered on seismographs at nearby universities. Prince wasn't performing anymore. He was fighting. Every note was a punch, every movement a dodge, every guitar riff a declaration. The solo stretched to 4 minutes instead of the planned 2, and his band was in shock. They'd never seen him channel this kind of raw power. Sweat poured down his face, soaking through his purple jacket. His fingers moved so fast they blurred. The guitar wailed and sang, channeling every ounce of pain and triumph into sound. Wendy whispered to Lisa over the drum monitor, "He's back. He's really back." Across the country in Encino, California, Michael Jackson sat in his home theater, watching MTV's live broadcast. He stood up, walked closer to the screen and whispered, This is different. This is something else entirely." The show lasted 2 hours and 47 minutes, 40 minutes longer than scheduled. 3 encores. When Prince walked off stage, soaked with sweat but at peace for the first time in years, Bobby Lewis was crying, "That was the greatest performance of your career." In the corridor, Ali was waiting. They didn't speak. Ali just pulled Prince into an embrace that lasted 10 full seconds, then quietly into Prince's ear. "You got up at 9. Ali reached into his bag and pulled out something wrapped in worn cloth. He unwrapped it carefully, an old boxing glove, brown leather, worn smooth in places, with visible tears and what might have been bloodstains. 1964, Sonny Liston fight. First round, 2 minutes 4 seconds. This glove changed history. He held it out to Prince. "Now it's yours." Prince stared, unable to comprehend. "I can't take this. This belongs in a museum." Ali's smile was gentle but firm. "Museums keep dead things. You're alive. I changed the world with this glove. You'll change it with your guitar. But remember, the glove doesn't matter. What matters is what count you get up at." The next day, the industry erupted. Rolling Stone. Prince arrives, Madison Square Garden, witnesses a coronation. New York Times. Purple Rain Tour, A Star is Born, again. MTV ran the clip of Ali's victory pose and Prince's guitar response on loop. Billboard reported Purple Rain album sales surged 340% overnight. Michael Jackson called Prince's hotel. "I saw it. You were transcendent. Maybe we're not competing. Maybe we're both just being." As Ali's car pulled away from Madison Square Garden, Prince stood holding the glove, tears in his eyes. Ali rolled down the window. "You didn't need saving tonight. I just stopped counting. You stood up on your own." He paused. "Next time you're in the ring, and there's always a ring, remember, champions aren't alone. We're a family, and family doesn't count to 10. Years later, in 1996, when Prince was battling Warner Brothers and teetering on the edge of another breakdown, he walked into his Paisley Park office at 3 in the morning. Couldn't sleep, couldn't think. The 1964 Liston glove sat in a glass case on his desk. He stood there staring at it for 20 minutes, remembering that night in Madison Square Garden, remembering Ali's words, remembering the choice to get up at 9. The next morning, he announced the Emancipation Triple album, 36 songs, his declaration of independence. When reporters asked where he found the courage, he just smiled. A friend taught me that champions get up at 9. On April 20th, 2016, Prince's last day alive, the glove was still there. Security footage shows him standing before it for 11 minutes. Just looking, perhaps thinking, I got up at 9 more times than I can count. Now it's time to rest. When Muhammad Ali died in June 2016, his wife Lonnie sent a note to Prince's estate. Muhammad always told that story. That kid got up at 9, he'd say. Just like me. Prince made him proud. The glove was left to someone in Prince's will. Who? Never revealed. But in 2018, a young Minneapolis musician gave an interview. Prince left me a gift. I can't say what it is, but I'll say this. Whenever I'm in crisis, I look at it. And I remember getting up at 9 is enough. So here's the question. What count are you at? Are you lying at 8, or will you find the courage to stand at 9? Because champions don't wait for the count to stop. They get up and fight one more round. Prince learned it. Ali taught it. Now it's your turn.